Hey everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Paint and Spill. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Cam, nice to meet you. And in today's video, we're going to be sitting down and chatting all things career, locked in, being without a phone, life, TikTok, everything you can imagine with the gorgeous Heather Borley. You might be asking yourself, because I know I am, Callum, why are you sat on your bed? And that is because I am about to go on holiday in the morning and my house is in absolute uproar at the minute with clothes and everything everywhere. And as I've just sat down to start editing this episode of Paint and Spill, I realised myself and Heather didn't film an intro. That's why I am sat here on my bed alone. It was an honour to get to sit down and glam Heather while we chat about everything you guys want to know. But all that being said, let's jump straight into the episode. I hope you all enjoy it. Let's get into it. We're actually doing Heather's first ever colourful eyeshadow look. Have you ever done like colour or anything on your eyes?
Never, just nudes.
And we're doing blue.
Yeah,
Should we do a bit of blue
going on.
You got a bit of blue going on. I feel like we should just blend some purple green into it, make it
Yeah,
a bit of a vibe.
all of it.
As we get going with Heather's eyes, we're just going to have a little bit of a chit chat, help you guys get to know Heather a bit more. So, if I was to meet you in the street, we had never met before, I have no idea who you are, how would you introduce yourself?
Okay, should we role play?
Yeah, right, hi.
Hi.
I like your green top. Now
Thank
tell me
you.
everything about you.
My name's Heather. I'm 20. I go to University of Manchester. I own a business called Lash CEO with my friend Megan, which is a lash serum. And I also do social media where I like to uplift and empower young girls and speak about confidence and boy troubles and anything to do with being a girly girl.
Starting at the bottom, like starting social media, was you in uni before you started social media or did that come after?
So I first started posting in 2022, the summer of my A-levels.
Would that have been, was 2022 lockdown?
No.
Or just after?
No, we were out of lockdown by then. And
I
then,
feel like that's such one big blur,
yeah, I know,
like
literally.
lockdown.
And then September 2022, I went to uni and kept posting, but I didn't get a following until May 2023, first year of uni. And then since then, it's just kind of gone up and up and up. So I've pretty much been doing uni at the same time that I've been doing social media seriously. So to me,
So like
I've never known
started
anything
basically
different.
at the same time?
Yeah, pretty much. Because I always get questions on like how do I handle it all being in third year of uni, studying linguistics and then doing social media full time, but I've literally never known anything different. I've always done both at the same time.
Starting out on social media, what was you posting?
I just used to, I didn't really have a niche at all. I just used to post random videos and then a few would go viral. If I'm being completely honest, at first they were all just thirst traps. Not thirst traps, but just me, when I've dolled myself up for a night out.
Yeah.
And I'd lip sync. And then when I actually got a following, I was like, oh, I can actually speak about things I want to speak about now.
Yeah, like you kind of had to capture the attention first and then
Yeah, exactly.
kind of delve into what you actually wanted to be doing on social media rather than...
Yeah, exactly. So then I started posting speaking videos and then I attracted a larger female audience then. And then, yeah, it's just gone up since from there.
What was a moment that you thought, oh my god, this could actually become my job? How did that come about? Or was it kind of just natural progression while she was in uni and then it started to become your job? Or was it a pivotal moment where you thought, oh my god, this is going crazy?
I'd say it was a slow burner, second year of uni, when I got with an agency and I was earning a bit of money from brand deals. So I was like, oh, this is so good to do whilst at uni, but I still wasn't no, it can't be a full-time thing, surely. But then the summer just gone is when I actually blew up out of nowhere.
Was it a specific video or...?
It was when I said I was single.
Oh, the boy said,
Yeah.
okay.
When I posted that I was single, and then loads of other people started posting videos saying oh, Heather's single. And I was like, what is going on? Because they all kept coming on my For You page. I was like, why do people care that much? Because it was girls and boys.
Not
and
the
then
girlies gags. Because I think
girlies
I
were gags.
found you around that time, but then I also...
Summer.
Yeah, but I also didn't know you was in a relationship, so the first thing I heard of you was Heather's single. That was the introduction. It was just Heather's single.
Yeah, and then everyone was so invested in what happened. But I already had my followers who knew about like my past relationship. So I told everyone what happened, and then that blew up. And I think a lot of young girls could relate to my experience.
I think as well, like, we live in a generation that just is point blank period knows it. I'm not gonna lie, I want to know.
Yeah.
I don't know about you.
Yeah, I know. Everyone's nosy, aren't they?
Like, if you see something and you're like, oh, I kind of want to know.
Yeah.
So then when somebody's willing to open up and talk about something, admit and talk about what's going on, then it does definitely catch people's attention.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to tell people, because I knew it would help a lot of girls that had been in my situation. So I also gave like advice on it, and I got a lot of good reception from it, because I had the girls and even some boys message me and be like, you explained that so well.
But it's so nice as well, because especially in an industry like this where everything's kept so private, you genuinely will have actually helped a lot of people to be like, if Heather's going through it,
then
it's not as like wild that I'm going through it. And I know, even if they don't know someone in their immediate life, close circle, friends, family that has gone through what you went through and spoke about, and then they're also going through it, they could also find comfort in that and find comfort in you.
It takes the weight off. Definitely takes the weight off for people. Because I find that I do that. Like, if I'm going through something, I'll search
like what you're going through and try and find someone to like relate to.
Yeah, exactly.
Because as well, you can see how the process is playing out, how they're healing. Or say, for example, you're posting, oh, I'm actually having a good day. They're like, well, I can have a good day.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what got my audience for me, was being like open and vulnerable about stuff like that. I think especially because majority of the stuff I posted was about like being a girl boss, and then I completely switched up and I was like, well, actually you can be vulnerable, and like
I'm heartbroken girl boss.
Yeah, like you do have bad days, and like everyone goes through this, everyone has their weak moments, and like it's completely normal. So I think a lot of people were like, oh,
find comfort in that.
Yeah, that looks so cool.
I feel like you're in your purple era.
I know, I was wearing purple yesterday, wasn't I?
Yeah. Following on from that, you obviously spoke about being in a relationship, and whatever went down, you spoke about it publicly. How did you find being in a public relationship? Is that something you'd ever want to do again, or is that like completely off limits now? That's something for you, because I have friends in the industry that are also like, that now is going to be, for me personally. Do you know what I mean?
It's hard. I always said, like, when I first came out of it, I was like, never again would I ever date anyone in the industry. If I ever had another boyfriend, it'd be someone completely normal, not on
like
social
completely
media.
Withdrew.
Completely. But now I think I would be in a relationship with someone in the industry, but just not post, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like try and keep it private.
Yeah. Like people know we're together, but we don't post the ins and outs of everything.
Oh yeah, like everyone is aware that you're in a relationship, but it's not plastered everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Which I find hard, because like if I have a boyfriend, like I want to show him off, post cute stuff, but it's just not worth it. And I feel like being on social media as well, they do try and ruin things. Like if you post stuff to the internet, people are gonna, and especially if people see you happy, unfortunately, a lot of people don't like that, so they're just gonna find things to bring you down. And
I think social media is a bit of a hard one, because when someone like follows you and supports you, 99.9% it's such like a positive experience through and through.
Yeah.
But then there is also a very small percentage of people that do kind of feel like everything is odds though.
Yeah.
If they've like known you from the beginning, or like,
yeah.
And sometimes for your own mental health, like all that type of stuff, you having privacy is like a big part of it. I always say this. Say for example, my friends from home, or that obviously have social media, but it's not a career to them, it's not a job, it's not anything like that. They wouldn't go and publicly announce like a breakup with their boyfriend and then have to tell everyone like the ins and outs of it. Do you know what I mean? Like it's quite an actual abnormal thing.
Yeah, I'm like, I've got a lot of friends in the industry as well who've been in public relationships, and people clock straight away when you're not with someone, and then literally a week after a breakup, when it's raw, they've had to put a camera in front of their face and be like, listen, stop spamming my page with stuff like this, me and such a person aren't together anymore. Which I didn't really do it that formal. I literally just posted a TikTok saying, no, it was a picture, and it was me in the airport, and it was like, hot, sweaty, hungry, feel sick, been broken up with, and my flight's delayed.
You got broken up with on holiday?
Yeah. So I literally just posted that picture, and it was to a Charlie XCX song, so I think people thought I was joking because I was being like dead casual about it.
Hot, sweaty, hungover and just being broken up with is wild. So
I just thought I'm just going to get it over and fucking done with.
Yeah, because now everyone knows. Like,
yeah,
it's not
especially
like
if he was going to
hidden
go out
truth.
then and start, like, pulling women.
Yeah, and then
I don't want to know about it.
Yeah, you don't want to then have to be like, oh no, don't worry, we're not together.
I
To
still
literally
had
everyone.
to do that, but probably just a lot less.
Yeah.
That looks so good.
Wait until we're like fully there. Yeah, it's a bit of a tricky one because then you've also got to navigate what's for you and what's for everyone else. And I feel like you're the type of person that wants to help everyone. So if you're going through something,
I'll share it.
you'll share it.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's about finding balance of being like, oh, maybe this one's for me.
I definitely do overshare online.
I feel like that can also be a positive and a negative. Have you ever found it to be a negative?
I still get messages on like how to deal with breakups and being cheated on, and as much as I want to respond to them all, it's like I've let go of that past part of myself. Do you know what I mean? But obviously because it's on the internet, people will still watch it and then come to me for advice. And at first I was replying to loads and loads of messages like helping girls and some boys as well, but I don't anymore because I just want to like...
It's done.
It's like, for me it's in the past, so I don't want to
relive
it as well, because some of the stories that they tell me, I'm like, girl, you give me PTSD.
And I also feel like you then helping people through their breakup and speaking to them in a sense of being like, oh, this is what I did to heal. You're then also having to remember the place you was in and the things you did to then get over it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, it hinders me a little bit.
But then you're doing it for good reason, so...
Yeah.
I'm sure the girlies are very thankful. We're just going to quickly jump off camera and cut Heather's crease so I'm not blocking, and also had to be dead silent when I do this. We're going to jump straight back into the conversation. I obviously know a big part of what you love to do and everything is help the girlies out. Now, we're in a day and age where everyone is trying to do this job. Like, I don't know if you agree. So if somebody...
Too right though, like it's great.
Heather said she's rich. I'm joking.
I seen an article about me before, right? I searched my name on Safari, just, you know, out of interest. And someone had, like, put my net worth in as 200k. But I was like, I'd never had any articles about me before I went into Locked In, and now there's so many. The Sun wrote an article about me as well.
Somebody wrote an article about your net worth. I'm so intrigued. My cousin was basically on X Factor, right?
Oh, who?
Her name's Kira Weathers.
Oh, I reckon if you show me a face, I'd know her.
Yeah, it was a good while ago, like, I want to say 2015, 2014, like, in and around that.
Right, okay.
I remember, like, we sat and Googled her net worth. It was the funniest thing, because she was like, I would love to know what, like, her 10 million net worth is. She was like, can somebody find it for me, please? But go on, so The Sun wrote an article.
Yeah, The Sun had written one being like, who is Heather Bowling? And it was like, GK Barry podcast guest, TikTok star. And
I love that GK Barry podcast guest is in the realm of that.
I know. It was given so much false information. It said I'd graduated from University of Manchester with a Bachelor of Science. I was like, wrong.
Why you're literally drilling your way through your third year.
I know, I don't even have that degree yet. But hopefully it manifested for me.
I know,
It's not even a Bachelor of Science, it's a Bachelor of Art, but...
Is it?
Yeah, there was just so much random stuff on there. It was saying I had like 4 sisters. Close to.
You just go through and correct the full article.
Okay, so I haven't graduated yet. I'm going to graduate in May, fingers crossed, with a Bachelor of Arts in Linguistics.
What is linguistics?
Linguistics is the science of language. So technically, it is there's a lot of sciencey stuff, but it's classed as a Bachelor of Arts because it's English language, so it's a humanity. But we study where language comes from, where it is in the brain, like...
Sorry, that's so fun, especially from me who can, like, barely speak my
it's
born-into language of English.
Study grammar, syntax, semantics, like meaning. We do a lot of conversational analysis, so we look at police interviews. We do, like, forensic linguistics, where it's used in criminal law. So linguists can tell when people are guilty based on their language choice. It's mad.
Stop. I bet you are the best at being able to tell a liar.
Yeah.
Like, catch a liar out. You're like, oh, guilty.
Yeah, do you know what, though? Like, it's taken over my life. Like,
assess everything.
When I'm having conversations with people, even if it's, like, a short interaction on the bus, you overthink every conversation, because one of the modules, pragmatics, is, like... we studied like structure of conversation, so like opening sequences and closing, and like when it's your time to take the floor. So sometimes I'll speak to people and I'll probably come across as so formal because I'm like...
You're like putting it into place. She said I'm getting the money's worth from the degree. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's just taken over my life because I read into what people say way too much, and sometimes it's just not that deep. I probably shouldn't say that because it's what I study, but sometimes it just really is not that deep.
I wanted to chat to you about this anyway, and I feel like it's just naturally led on to that. How did you actually get into this topic? Like, what made you want to do that in uni? Was it anything specific? What was the situation there?
So I studied English language, was always my favourite subject at school.
That's crazy because that is the subject that I was like significantly failing.
Didn't like it. I loved it.
I think it's not that I didn't like it. I think I just wasn't it wasn't for me.
Yeah, I loved my English teacher as well. I used to be that bitch. It'd be like, can I have extra work for the weekends?
Oh, I love that.
She loved me as well.
Do you know what made me laugh? When I got my GCSE results, I wish I'd have because at the time I never would post anything personal on social media. The way me and my mum audibly gasped when I passed English, we had no hope.
Were you on A, B's and C's or numbers?
I was on A, B's and C's.
Okay, so you got a C?
Yeah. My mum was like, you passed? Surely not.
Did you think you'd fail?
Yeah, my mum was like, go and ask your teacher, are you sure? I was like, okay.
Bless you. Yeah, so I loved English language at GCSE. Then at A-levels I did English language, English lit and sociology. And sociology and English language tied together is pretty much linguistics because it's like the sciencey side of it.
The science of the voice.
Yeah, it's like human interaction, and obviously that ties in with language and how we speak to people. So my actual degree is called English language, but the modules are linguistics. That's what it's called. Like the actual profession.
Why does linguistics kind of sound like pasta?
What?
I'd really like to
like linguine?
Yeah, like linguine.
I'm hungry now.
No, stop, because I'm actually starving. Do you think if you didn't do linguine...
Did you mean to say that? Linguine.
Linguine. If you wasn't doing... I can't laugh because I'm laughing now.
Sorry, right, serious.
Let me sip my peppermint tea.
It's too hot, I'm going to have to let it cool down.
Oh no, I feel like it's good for a slurp now.
Okay. Shall I do it right next to the mic?
Yeah. We'll do peppermint tea ASMR. Did you ever watch Graveyard Girl going on YouTube? Bunny.
Yes,
yeah,
she's like fell off now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, because do you remember Shane Dawson did a video saying like saving Graveyard Girl?
Yeah, crazy.
Bless her.
If you wasn't to have done linguistics in uni, what... Can we laugh? I got it right, didn't I?
Yeah, just made me laugh.
Do you think you would have still gone to uni, or is it more so because you've got like a passion for it, or is it for the degree? Do you think you'd have done something else, or just not gone to uni and kind of focused on this full time?
I think that if I was in the position now that I was in 3 years ago, I can't say I would have gone to uni. But
That's
I'm
what's
so
good
glad
about
I did.
it, yeah.
I'm so glad I did because like uni is not just the degree, it's living by yourself, it's meeting friends, new experiences. I think if I didn't do linguistics, I might have done what's it called?
English language, maybe? Or is that...
No, business management.
Oh, that's fun. My sister actually has a degree in business management.
I feel like that would have been more suitable
beneficial
to my career.
I always say this. I don't know if many people actually know this about me, but I lasted 2 weeks in college. I did intend on going back then to do business management, which I think actually should be a forced taught subject, if that makes sense.
I think that all the time, like,
because
it
it's
should
something
be a GCSE.
that's just optional.
Yeah.
Paying tax the first time, like everything like that, I was literally like, what?
Oh yeah, same.
Crazy. I
still don't have a clue how it works.
And I remember at the time, my college was kind of going up a little bit, like the actual college as a whole.
Yeah.
And they had to get rid of one of the college buildings because it was like a whole like campus type thing. And it went up for rent. So I was like, haha, I'm going to rent it because it like backed onto the makeup thing.
Wow.
So I actually then...
That's so good. That's such a half you.
Yeah, so then I actually went on and rented the college building. And I remember, like, it probably wasn't financially responsible, like, couldn't really afford it. I made it work, of course. for my tenancy. And my college tutor, the one that kicked me out, came one day and tried to park on the car park. And I literally ran out and I was like, you can't park there, it's private parking. And at the time, I'm going to have to show you a picture and then I'll maybe insert one in here. Like, this had my name so big on the front. It was a 20-metre sign. Like, it was wild.
Iconic.
And then she was like to me, oh, Callum, don't be like that. Like, I've got no words about, like, I'm really worried about my car. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, this is private parking. Like, if you're not a client, you're going to have to find somewhere else to park. Yeah, I was literally like, bye, waving her off.
That's such a good feeling.
I was then going to go back and do a business course because, going back to the original point, like, all the things that you actually need in business and, like, everyday life, like how to pay bills, like, and it's so cliche to say, but you actually do not learn that in school. So when you're figuring it out, like, it is hard.
Yeah.
And I'd never had a single person in my family self-employed.
Yeah, especially being self-employed.
Do you know what I mean?
That was me when I first had to start paying taxes. My dad was telling me all this stuff about VAT and flat rate scheme, and I was literally crying to him going, what are you talking about?
Yeah, because then
I was so frustrated because I know it's important to understand, and I felt so thick. But like no one teaches you about it. It should be taught in schools, but that's the system the government want you to fail.
There we go.
They don't want people to be successful.
For now, I'm just going to cut here while I do Heather's other eye, and then we'll come back for base and continue the conversation about life in business. And then I actually want to get chatting, Heather, about your business and your business partner, how that came about.
Yeah.
Your lash serum, because the lash serum's evidently working. Because have you seen, like, I actually dread putting mascara on Heather because it does go everywhere. Like, this is going to be hell on this.
They're actually not that long at the minute because I've had a lash lift, so they've gone a bit
we did your makeup yesterday and they went boom all over it.
Yeah, to be fair, they touched my eyes.
Yeah, it's crazy. But we'll see you in a sec. Before we left off, me and Heather was talking about the fact that we was actually going to do business in college, which would have been very ideal, as you now actually have a business and a business partner.
I do.
So let's get into that. How did this actually come about?
So I met Megan ages ago, like first year of uni. I went to her when I was 18 to get my Botox done. Actually wanted for ages, and I get loads of stick for having Botox at 20, but it's like preventative.
I always say it's preventative.
And I'm not being funny, since I was 15, I had like huge creases on my forehead, even when I was resting. It was mad. I don't know what it was from. Went to Megan to get my Botox done, and then I was telling her about how I run social media accounts, like I used to do it for businesses, and she messaged me on Christmas Day saying, oh, could you please, I'm looking for a new social media manager, would you like to make some content for
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, no, just straight, do you want to work for me for her aesthetics business? So I was like, oh, class.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, free Botox. So we started working together, and then when I started to blow up 2023, like May, she messaged me and she was like, Heather, like we should start a business. I always got questions on my lashes, and I used to use loads and loads of different eyelash serums. Like, I've tried literally every single one. They used to give me really bad, like, dark circles under my eyes because they have prostaglandins in, which, like, melt the fat around your eyes.
Isn't that so then your eyelashes protrude, so, like, essentially look longer?
Yeah. So, no, it was a hormone in it that actually made them grow.
What?
Yeah.
But then also melted the fat around at the same time.
Yeah. So we started that. That was like an idea in June, and then we launched first in December, and it's just gone crazy. So we've almost been selling it for a year, and we've sold over like 25,000.
That is crazy numbers.
I know.
First year in business to do 5,000 orders.
Mad.
Congratulations on that, though.
We were sold out all summer, which was annoying. Like, we were sold out from June till end of September, because we wanted to get a new formula, and we've like upgraded the bottle and brush and everything, because at first it like we liked the design, but it just looked cheap, but we didn't have a lot of budget
to like change it.
Yeah, but then once we started selling more, like we were getting like feedback from customers, and obviously that's like, for me, that's a massive thing with my following.
Yeah,
so
like,
I said to Megan, I was like, we'll take it on board and we'll change like what people want, what they think should be better, like what can be improved.
Because then you've just very recently relaunched it, haven't you?
Yeah, so we've got like a new and improved serum formula, and we've got like a It's like a metal bottle now instead of plastic, and the brush is thicker.
That's so fun though, and it's something that you always got asked questions on, so it was natural. It wasn't something that was really like out of the blue to just start randomly doing lash serums. Because I find like a lot of the times, like when influencers start to grow, they'll start businesses or whatever, and a lot of the time it's so out of the audience, it makes no sense.
Yeah. I think another thing as well is it's being natural, like your natural lashes.
Yeah,
For
I
me,
like that.
when I was 15, 16, all of my wages when I used to work in a bar and when I used to work at Subway, they all used to go on my lash infills.
Did you used to work at Subway? I kind of love that.
Yeah.
I love me a Subway.
I'm a qualified sandwich artist.
Oh, wow, is that a thing?
Yeah.
How did you find working at Subway? Because I always say this to Billy. For those that don't know, my boyfriend's actually a lawyer, and he always says the place he learnt the most working at was actually McDonald's. So, like, do you feel like you learnt anything from working at Subway? I know that's such a rogue question, but...
Yeah. When I was 17, I had 3 jobs because I just loved earning money. I used to do Mondays, Wednesdays and Sunday mornings at Subway, and then I would do B&M on a Saturday.
Wow, you've worked at like all my favourite places.
What B&M is not fun to work at, oh my god. I used to do Sunday evening at B&M and Saturday morning at B&M, and then I'd do like night shifts in the bar. But yeah, I feel like I learnt a lot from Subway. It was so much responsibility. I was 16, but it was like the post offices owned the Subway, so everyone was there. Everyone who was there would get paid the same amount regardless of their age. Like they paid everyone the same amount per hour, and I think I was getting £12 an hour at 16.
Which is crazy.
So I was buzzing with it. But it was like your responsibility to like cash up at the end, count all the bread, do all the prep in the morning.
I feel like you've lived 100 lives.
I actually have.
I feel like every content creator that I ever come across is also like, I feel like it's a thing in this industry that everyone's like lived 100 lives.
I loved working in a bar. That was fun.
How did you find going from like just being able to be so chill about everything to blowing up? Was that a massive change for you, or do you think you adjusted quite well? Because I know like
I found
some
it
people
really
can take
hard.
it really hard.
Yeah, I found it really hard. For me, it was like people nitpicking about my personal decisions. I remember, so obviously I vape, but I remember I quit vaping for like 5 months and I was so proud of myself. And then I went back on holiday and I relapsed, because you know when you're on a night out and you're like, oh, come on, I'll just
I'll just have a vape, yeah.
Just as a little treat. And then like people would spot it in my videos and be like, oh, I'm so disappointed in you promoting vaping to your audience. Stuff like that where people would nitpick me about my life. And I remember once, this was mad, right? So I went to this hotel in Crete and I'd literally posted a picture of the sunset on my story, but you could see like the hotel background, didn't post the name, didn't post the location. I got a very angry paragraph from this girl saying, like, it's disgusting how influencers promote this hotel, it's the worst hotel ever, they treat people like, and I was like, I think she thought that I'd been paid to promote it. I'd paid for it with my own money. And she got like her mum to message me and be like, do not go to this hotel, don't post it, you've got an audience, it's your responsibility to do these things. And I was like, leave me the alone, I'm on my holidays, I've paid for this hotel myself. And she was like fully going in on me for posting that.
Posting a hotel
yeah,
that you had also paid for.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like a bad hotel. I was like, I replied to a message and I was like, listen, I'm so sorry for your horrible experience and that your family had to move, but like, I'm here on my holiday, I've paid for it with my own money, please leave me alone, it's not my responsibility.
I think that's the thing. And then you also get so drawn to like being on your phone, reading everything. And I always say this as well, when people blow up, it's such a different experience going from, you just go on your phone, say for example Billy or my friends from home, they go on the phone all night and it's just like a leisurely thing. I feel like when you're on your phone in this shop,
it's anxiety all the time.
It's anxiety all the time. You're like, you're constantly working, there's no
anxiety,
cut off.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's like there's just always something, like you can't win.
Yeah,
that's how it feels sometimes, not all the time, but
it's a very pressure filled job, and it's crazy because your whole life and income kind of, this is why it's good actually that you're going to have your degree and things, like your whole life, job, income, everything actually relies on other people liking you.
But what's helped me is like, I always just think like the internet's not real.
Yeah, it's like not a real place.
It's not, like it's not real life. And I feel bad for like influencers who like live alone or like don't have
that kind of support system,
other things like outside of social media. Like obviously I've got uni and I live with my friends.
Yeah. which
But
is so fun.
I can't imagine just like constantly being on social media and then it just being your whole value,
whole life, yeah,
whole
like that's
life.
all that consumes you.
Like I'm not surprised some people would go like spiral over stuff like that.
Yeah, because obviously like that's the only thing that they're seeing and doing literally 24/7.
And it becomes them, and like you need to like separate yourself from it. Like it's work at the end of the day. It can still be really fun.
And you've obviously just spent a good bit of time without your phone.
Yeah.
Like in
it was
an
amazing.
isolated environment. How did you actually find that? Was that crazy for you? Because I know to then come out and open your phone, I bet you literally did not want to do it.
I loved not having my phone when I was in there. I didn't miss it at all. Like I felt so peaceful. But when I remember when I got my phone back, I was like, I was saying to all the production, I was like, I don't want my phone.
Look straight ahead.
They keep it in like a little envelope with your name on.
Yeah. And how was that, like, turning it back on? Crazy.
Mad. Like, f***ing mad. Fun, though.
I know that you said you obviously live with your friends from uni. I bet you miss them so much. How do you find that living with a group of girls? Do you love it?
The best thing ever.
When I first ever did Heather's makeup, we had this conversation. I was like, oh, you're never tempted to move out? And she's like, no, absolutely not.
No. I live in such a hole as well. Like, it's just like a student area. If anyone's ever heard of Fallowfield, you'll know what I'm talking about.
But
it's not.
Is that such public knowledge that you live there?
Yeah, everyone knows I live in Fallowfield. But it's such it's such a scary area. When I came out of locked in, my friends were like, "Oh yeah, you missed that there was a man with a walking around Fallowfield." I was like, "What?" But I live with my friends, and it's the best thing ever, and it's such like a nice like support system. So I'd never move away from them or out.
I also feel like it's good that you have that and kind of like a nice sense of reality. Speak to them about normal things in a way and escape so it doesn't consume you in a way, if that makes sense. I think the scary thing is as well that not a lot of people speak about, it can go away any minute.
Yeah, that's the scary. That's why I started Lash CEO, to be honest, for a bit of longevity. Yeah.
And like this whole thing with the USA banning TikTok and things, like, imagine.
Is that actually happening?
Yeah. But it's just like
Surely
taking like a long time, yeah, which is so crazy.
Will it be banned in the UK? If they ban it in the US, it'll go in the UK because like all the biggest creators on TikTok are
in the US.
Yeah.
Just before we wrap up and go off to finish the glam, because I feel like I've picked your brain enough for the past how long? Well, we've been filming alone for an hour, bar.
Is it
off
an hour?
camera. Yeah, we've been filming for an hour, done everything off camera. I was speaking to you earlier about like getting into the industry, breaking through. So many young girls want to do it and probably look up to you and things and like your type of content. So if you could give anyone out there wanting to do what you do a little bit of advice, what do you think that advice would be?
I would say if you want to build like an audience, like an actual following and like girl demographic, don't start with influencing, like showing products and being like, oh, this
like
new dress, this new makeup. Just post like relatable content or like just being yourself. That's how I started. Or even just like stuff that's not superficial, like speaking about your opinions on such and such a thing, what you're passionate about, and then people will just gravitate towards you
from that, like, naturally.
Yeah, exactly.
Just keep it like quite authentic.
Yeah, instead of like forcing because the influencing will come when brands reach out, but instead of like, unless you want to be like a makeup influencer, then
like you post makeup from the get-go type thing.
Yeah. But yeah, just being authentic and not forcing any brand content and influencing content.
Yeah, just being very chill with it. Now, I'm going to pop off camera and finish this glam to its full potential, and then we'll be back to show you guys
the finished look.
The finished look.
I'm so excited.
This is the final look on Heather. Actually kind of obsessed with how this turned out.
I love it. Please ignore my greasy hair as well, everyone, and just focus on the face.
Just
the face
get into the glam. But yeah, I would just like to say a massive thank you for Heather for coming joining me for Paint and Spill today.
Aww.
It has been a pleasure having you.
Thank you for painting my face.
I mean, this is actually kind of good. I kind of love this.
I can't stop staring at myself, sorry.
There's a big monitor behind the camera, guys, where like you can see what's going on. That's why we're probably both looking over there. Heather's like, it looks so good, and I'm like, oh my god, I look trash. Maybe with a tan. Yeah, this is the finished glam. I have picked Heather's brain, so I hope you guys have took a little bit of advice from Heather's journey. It's been an honour to have you. One last question before we go. If it was 15-year-old Heather sat in the chair, what have you got to tell her?
Oh, I don't know.
That's really putting you on the spot, isn't it?
A 15-year-old me. You're not going to marry your first boyfriend as much as you think you will. Heather, fake it till you make it. Keep on faking it till you make it. Revise for your GCSEs. Oh, actually, don't, because they're going to be cancelled by COVID. And
save your time.
Save your time. Don't revise for your GCSEs because they're not going to happen. And get rid of the blonde highlights. You're a brunette.
Deep down. But that is Paint and Sip episode 2 over and out.
Bye everyone.
Thank
Love
you
you
so much for coming, Coach.
Oh, thank you.